Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farmville. The smoothing function, that would level that out. Right, that's not the bit that causes the problems. The bit that causes the problems is these dips, is these bits right here. It's this curve like this that the smoothing function doesn't do anything to. There's no way to remove that apart from massive scale, dig it back in and smooth it out and so on. And that's the bit that causes all the machinery the problems, and that's also the bit that is no longer able to be fixed using the smoothing function and the landscaping. And that I just can't get my head around that. They've made the game so that it's more difficult to play under certain circumstances, and then the one thing that they did have that was able to smooth that out and remove that issue, they got rid of it. Why? What possible reason? That doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I don't like it. Have I ever mentioned that I'm not entirely happy with that particular change in the game? I'm not sure. I feel like I may have kept that one fairly quiet because or perhaps not. But anyway, what's done is done. We now have to live with it. So what we will do is I will listen to the suggestion that somebody made, and actually I think there's a couple of people made it, to wait until we finish the next harvest, and then we will go along at the edges of the fields here, and we will dig back into the bank, and we will smooth everything out, and then we'll go over it again with a plow and redefine the edges of the fields, and then we shouldn't have any more issues with our planting. I will also get rid of any of the trees that are still on the very edges of the fields along those banks. That bit is now done. So let's lift you up. Let's fold you up, and I'll take this one back. So we've done this. We did the other field, and we've also gone and done this field. This is all finished. The only one that we haven't done is we're waiting on the sorghum to finish down the bottom, and there's little point in me running this seed drill down there because the sorghum is just about done anyway. So it's not really going to take us very long to go and do this bit, I don't think. For that bit to be done, I guess. Well, I'll have a look in just a second and see what state it's at. If it's coming along fast enough, we can just leave it. If there's a little bit still to go, I might actually get the sprayer out and we'll go and we'll spray a couple of the fields, because there's 2 fields that we can spray, and then there'll be one more that we will want to spray once the planting is all finished. So I'm just going to bring you back in the shed there. Oops. Yeah, I know I just changed the thing to sorghum. It's because I was supposed to be turning off the beacon. I'm just going to shut the tractor off. I'm going to leave it hitched. Let's go to you. What do you got left? You have very nearly almost finished. I think I am going to take the sprayer out today. I've got 1,700 litres of herbicide in there, which is enough to be able to do the little bits that we want to do. So it's field 5, one on the corner, and then it'll be the next one over that we've just gone and planted, and then there'll be one more bit that we need to do down in the corner that we're planting right now with the, well, it's planting the sorghum at the moment, isn't it? It was beans down there, so bring this one over to here. And I will go into this field. So yeah, you cannot preemptively spray a field. We have put that one to bed. You have to wait until after you have planted before you can do it. Let that one unfold a minute. I'm not sure where it sprays from on this one. Bring that back. We got a spray bar at the back there. Huh. Right, so the spray bar at the back doesn't seem to actually do anything. The spray arm is the bit at the front. So I'll bring you all the way up to here so that I don't actually wrap it around the tree. And then turn around this way. go on around here. And it doesn't use up very much spray. Like, it does actually seem to be quite conservative with using the spray. But we've got really, really small fields, so it kind of... it's a bit skewed with how much we appear to be using. I guess if we had really big fields, we would have to be constantly coming back to refill the thing. But it does seem to be quite economical with how quickly it's getting through the spray here. All the way up there like that. Did I get the edge of the field there? Yeah, I think I did. Right, I do have a little bit on the edge of the field here, and we have a bit of a traffic jam there that, well, we don't actually need to worry about it. So I'll turn that one off, and then one last little bit there. Right, job done. So then I need to be able to get through here. Can I do this by kind of shunting through like this? I've done this before with combines in real life. Yeah, you can. You just got to kind of be a little bit inventive with how you turn the wheels and so on as you get through the obstacles, but it's entirely possible to do it with a header on a combine. So we'll bring you in there like that, start you up, and off we go across the field. Most excellent. And that is a rather good picture, I think. Just had the hired help finish the work down in the other field, so I'm going to bring this back across here. Start spraying this bit. And this is where, I mean, you can shut bits of the sprayer off, but I don't think it actually works very well for this, like when you're doing the edge, because I think it shuts off the outside edges of the sprayer and brings them in, which for just doing a little strip up the very side of the field is not actually very useful. So we won't be making any use of that at the moment. So we want to run down across here. This field here does not need spraying. And then that field down there, we will spray it, but we've got a couple of little patches that we need to go over with our seed drill first, just to finish that off. So we'll park you right there a second, and then go to you. Right, there's a little bit there, so there may be a couple of patches right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it from there, and I'm going to go up through here like this, just to take that bit. There is a piece right down the far end. There's two couples, at least two couple bits. At least two bits. There is a couple of bits. I try to say like several words all at once, and then they get a bit garbled sometimes. Does anyone else do that? I do it quite frequently. We'll grab that bit there. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about rolling, because I've got a mod that has basically added the rolling function to all of the seed drills and also the planters, and therefore, in theory, there should be no rolling required. Right, that is now finished. Shut you off. Double check on here. Right, soil composition. There will be weeds coming up in here. There's a couple of little bits there that are saying it needs ploughing, but it doesn't actually really need ploughing, and there's no rolling requirements here anywhere, which is most excellent. What I am going to need is a bit of fertiliser on that field and a bit of fertiliser on that field. If I spray this field, I think what we can do is, because we go over it and we spray it, I think we can then go back over it and we can spread fertiliser on it. So it's only going to be this field here on our right that we will need to spread fertiliser on next month. And we'll worry about that next month. We'll find out in a minute if we can spray that last field down in the corner and then also put fertiliser on afterwards, because it's changing the state of the field. I don't know if you noticed while we did this little field here, it changed the state of it. It seemed to remove the fertiliser darker colour, made it into the lighter colour, which makes me think that maybe we will be able to get away with putting the fertiliser on straight away. Right, that one's going to go back in there like that, and we will shut you off, and then we will go back down here to this one. Actually, I'm just going to start from here because it's not going to be too difficult. And there, you can see we are removing the darker colour for the fertiliser bit. So I'm wondering if once I've done this, if I fold those arms up and break out the fertiliser spinner option on this machine, we could do that as well. And I've just ripped the arms off of the sprayer right there, which is probably not the best thing to go and do. Just bring you back round there. You know, I'm going to shut this one off now, because otherwise we're going to get accused of throwing spray down all willy-nilly and causing a major environmental catastrophe, which we don't really want to do. You get fined a lot of money if you do something like that. If you have a spillage or something like that on a farm and you get like slurry or chemical or something going into a waterway or something, or poisoning the ground, however it might have occurred, you get into a lot of trouble. There's a lot of people that get very upset with you when you do things like that. I know this because I have seen the news. I've seen farmers do such things on the news and then they get prosecuted, and really, really prosecuted. The worst cases, they go to prison. The not so worst cases, they get fined a absolute fortune, exorbitant amounts of money. And rightly so, in my opinion. If you are running a farm, you should be running a farm properly. You shouldn't be allowing large quantities of slurry to disappear off down the river, because it just destroys the river. Right, let's fold this one up. As soon as we've done that, we should be able to fire it up straight away, and it will start spreading fertilizer. So I'm going to back down into this corner. Well, we can spread the fertilizer. That won't be a problem, right? It's not going to stop us from doing that. What I'm curious about is... Oh, wait, isn't there a thing on this? Yeah, you can. You can do that. I mean, yes, if you tried doing that with the machine in real life just while it was standing there, you would have utterly destroyed those wheels. I'm not even sure the machine would let you do it. It might. It might let you do it. Okay, so now I can just turn the machine on, and it is putting fertilizer there. So I'm just going to shut that one off, and then we'll check our map. And it is doing it. Excellent. Right. So, we can now spread a bit of fertilizer on the field. After we've done the spraying, we can do two jobs, two birds with one stone. Remember what I was talking about, the whole environmental catastrophe thing? Going around and murdering all the birds is also probably not a good thing. It's the sort of thing that doesn't endear farmers to the general public if they go around slaughtering all the birds. I mean, yes, I do understand that sometimes the birds do need to be removed as pests. Pigeons are the ones that come to mind. I have seen fields where pigeons have run rampant. They're quite bad for crops like the oilseed rape, the canola. They're quite bad for crops like that. They'll go along and they eat the young seedlings as they come out. And I have seen huge fields. I'm talking about fields that are like a mile, a square mile. How much is a square mile? 1 square mile is 2.59 square kilometers. And I've seen a field that was 1 square mile, so 2.5 square kilometers, a single field, and 3/4 of that field was completely bare because of flocks of pigeons going along and eating the young seedlings of the canola as it was sprouting. They really like that plant for some reason. So yes, there are times when farmers do need to control pests. You can either cover the entire field in a big net, which is a little bit difficult to find a net that is 2.5 square kilometers, or you can put up nets to catch the pigeons, or you can just shoot the pigeons. Like, there's various different ways that you can control them. But when you have flocks of tens of thousands of the birds coming in and eating your fields, it's a little bit soul-destroying. You need to be able to find ways to keep them off of your crops. They're not so bad with other crops. I think there are crops that pigeons will go into just as enthusiastically as they do with the canola, but the canola is the worst one. That's absolutely the worst one for it. Right. I don't think there's anything else we need to do today. I think we've done all of the tasks that we wanted. We've done all of the planting. We've done everything. Let me just take the weed cover. Okay, everything has... We've got everything done that we need to do, apart from a bit of fertilizer in that field there. May is next on the list. Now, if I go over here and I highlight the grass, right there, it will say that it's ready to harvest now. I think it is actually full grown, but we're not going to do that. We want to do that in May. We want one cut in May and one cut in August is the way that I would like to run things. Let's go and get some sleep, and then we can see what we've earned from one full day of the BGA running. And we also need to sell our eggs and sell our milk and repay some of our loan. I think we'll start with 10,000 on the loan. It's the last day of spring, so we don't need to do any rolling today for anything. We're down to 47,000. And the grass is still saying that it's ready. You know, this is what I don't particularly like about having grass, because it like floods the whole map with information, which I don't really want. Okay. I was expecting weeds to get... It's fertilizer that we've got to go and put over there, isn't it? Right. Finances. There. 4,582 euros from biogas income from one day. Now, that is something I like. I like that a lot. 4,500. Let's go and see what eggs we've got. Pretty sure we're going to have to feed our chickens a bit more, but, I mean, one thing that we do have now, 4,600, we're all right for that. So, one thing that we do have is a large amount of wheat that we're going to be harvesting this time that we'll be able to put into storage, and we will keep it back for feeding the chickens. I want to make sure that I've got enough food for the chickens for 2 years. And so long as I've got enough for 2 years, anything on top of that, any excess, we will sell. So there's 3,400 for eggs there. This one is a completely full pallet, so let's bring that one out and then close that gate there. I don't know how many eggs are sold on that last lot, but it was 3,400 for that pallet. I think May is actually one of the best months of the year for selling eggs. But we won't be saving any eggs. We will sell them every month. Just might have to change the way we do them. Whether we have a small vehicle with a trailer so that we can auto-load them up and just drag them over quick. That might be a better way of doing it. And 4,700 right there. So it's like 7 grand we've just had from eggs. Sold products, 8,170. So 8 grand just from eggs. So we haven't done anything else yet. This is really good. I like this. What else was I thinking about? Oh, I want to have a look in here. We've still got 14,000 in there. This way we've got 4,320 milk. We've got 8,700 slurry that we will eventually be able to take over. All right, things are looking pretty good. So, that's what I was just thinking of. Was how many chickens have we got? We have 360 chickens. Chickens consume 5 liters per month. I'm sure I already worked this out. 21,600 per year. So I basically need just under 44,000 liters of grain in total to keep the chickens for 2 years. Right now, we have got 6,800 liters. We got enough to last until the harvest, but then we're going to want, well, we'll round it, so we'll say we're going to want 45,000 liters of grain to keep our chickens. Why am I bothering to run when I could just do it like this? We're going to want 45,000 liters of grain for our chickens. So we'll start off with wheat as being... Actually, no, we'll start off with barley. We'll go with barley as being our main chicken feed. And after we have had the barley, we will then top up with wheat to however much we want to achieve 45,000 litres. I am aware that later on we probably won't be able to reach that target at all if the wheat and the barley are both growing in smaller fields, but I'm alright with that. I'm not putting sorghum in for the chickens. I know we can, so I think we can. Is sorghum a thing that we can put in for chickens? I'm sure it is. Wheat, barley, and it is sorghum. Yeah, so putting sorghum in for the chickens just feels like a real waste. Like that is it's a much more valuable crop, and it just feels like a horrible, horrible waste to go and dump that in for the chickens. So I got no intention of doing that. We'll do it on the wheat and the barley. We should be okay to achieve that each year. This year, we definitely will, because we got 2 big fields, he says. Thinking about it, do we? Maybe, I think, actually, we don't have 2 big fields. Let me just go back through. Oh, yes, we do. I keep thinking this one's wheat, this one's barley over here. So we got the big field with barley, then we've got the second biggest field with wheat. So we're going to do well this year. And later on, I'm in and ahhing about this. I can go and buy more land, and we will be able to buy more land probably this year. So we can like buy some of this here, and if I buy an extra one, that means I can join some of these fields. Like I join 4 and 5 together, and then we get another field, and we join 2, 3, and 1 into one big long field. Like you get the idea here. We can start collecting them into groups of fields. We still will have at least 8 fields, or we'll have smaller bits. But anyway, you get the idea. Should I make us an extra field here? If I go to the farmland, I mean, I don't own 47, but I do own this. I could make a field here. So, do you want me to make a field there? Do you think that I should go and do that? We're now on 64,000. I am going to repay 10 grand. Do you think I should make us an extra field out of nothing there, or is that not something you think that I should be doing? Do you think that carving us an extra field over there out of all those trees, is that something you feel is kind of a bit of a waste of time? It's not really something you want to see me doing, or is it something you feel that actually, yeah, that would be a really cool thing to see as part of this series? I don't really mind. I can do this either way. We could just try and keep it with the area that's got less trees on it and only remove like a few trees. We can do either or both or whatever. Like, let me know in the comment section about that one. How would you like me to progress with fields? Am I supposed to be? Would you like me to be carving out a few extra for ourselves, or should we stick with the mostly predefined fields and maybe just enlarge them a little bit as we go along? Now, the next job that we got 2 jobs that we want to do today. One is make hay, and the other one is to get the fertilizer spread on the field. Now, right now, I've got the trailed Kubota mower, and we've got the front Kubota mower as well. If we go and have a look in here, we go to mowers. So I've got the trailed one down here. That one is one that I have. This is a 4-meter mower. The one that I was thinking about getting was selling that trailed one and buying this one instead. So this is a 10-meter spread instead of 4 meters. The 10-meter, I think, does actually include the 3.2 meters on the front of this one. That being said, it's still 3 meters more than if we just have the trailed one and that. So, yeah, I kind of like the idea of having this one. There is one other mower that I have only used once, and I haven't used it again. It was this one. This one's got a 12.3 meter spread on it. It does require a substantial amount, and it's also incredibly expensive. But the reason I didn't like it was because the hired help seemed to struggle with turning on the headlands with that one, and I don't really know why, so I haven't used it since. But this is one that I was seriously considering, because it's going to be an awful lot faster. I'm going to go with what we have here for this time. But I'm thinking that maybe we should upgrade this one. It's a much bigger mower, the other one, which means the job is going to go much faster. This is what we want to do. We want to be upgrading things as we move through, and I do feel that one would be worth the extra. So I'm going to go here. I think if I just press unfold... Yeah, it does. It unfolds out into mowing position all by its lonesome. I'll bring you out here like this. Fire that one up. Lower it down like that. There, and off we go. So you get a little bit sort of out around the edges of the field like we've done previously. And yeah, you do leave like little strips behind with the mower and the way that it works. That is fine. It doesn't really hurt anything. I do wonder if we should get one of the big self-propelled mowers in this series, if that's something that I should aim towards. I'm thinking probably not. If I do go ahead with this whole idea of a completely BGA-based series, then like we'll be wanting to make silage in order for our BGA to be fully stocked. I will look at the different BGA options and see if there is any that basically allow you to process two different things side by side at full volume, at full speed. So we could do a thing of slurry, and we could also have silage going through, and it will do both of them at 100% instead of both of them at 50%, or one of them at 100%. I'll have a look and see what kind of options are available with that, because I kind of like the idea of it being able to do both full whack. I mean, maybe not. Maybe the better way of doing that, if we're doing a BGA-based series, is that we build ourselves additional biogas plants that we can have dedicated to different products that we process. That could also be a way of doing it. Actually, that could be a very cool way of doing it. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I think that would work. But anyway, we'll want to be doing some silage, and I'm not just going to be doing maize silage for the whole thing. I kind of like the idea of doing grass silage as well. So we'll do some grass silage, we'll do some maize silage, and we'll probably even grow a whole crop and do some of that as well. Kind of mix it up a little bit. I mean, yes, it is ultimately all just going to be silage, and we've got to figure out a way of stuffing it into our BGA. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.